All right. Before we begin drawing our section, we are going to use the geometry we already have. It's going to give us a head start, but we want to make sure everything's in the right place. We also want to clean up and prep what we've done so far. So first thing I want to do is I want to highlight these parts, and I'm going to activate their layer by right-clicking on some of the geometry and choosing Activate Layer. So all these parts are here. Right now they're on the Show layer. I'm going to go ahead and let's just make a construction layer, and let's go ahead and turn off its visibility so that now I can choose Fit to Objects and just my plan is showing, right? The other thing we're going to do is highlight all these parts. If you remember when we started drawing, this bridge is kind of, it's absolutely centered on the center line, but its y-coordinate here, you can see it's some odd size, right? Like that's not a real measurement. And that's because we never actually placed it. And this would be determined by a lot of factors. Typically, it's a part of the creative conversation, and choreographers care about real estate. Cast size might dictate that. At one point, I believe there were like 22 people dancing on the apron of the stage. The other consideration, for instance, is there's this fire pocket, right? Like we would want to make sure that, for instance, there would never be a moment where these stairs are allowed to break the fire line, right? They can be downstage and they can be upstage and they can be moved, but they can't be stationary underneath that fire pocket. So there's certainly a lot of considerations. The lighting design team, the sound design team, video, everyone's going to have an opinion about exactly where the footprint of this set is. And we could, if we were trying to determine that answer, we could potentially show a few different options, present some drawings to everyone, get their feedback, and then come back. But I'm going to let you know that basically the downstage edge of the bridge wants to be 9 feet off of our origin point or the setting line. So in order to do that, I have a lot of options, but I'm going to choose the Move by Points tool. I'm going to be in move mode. I'm going to choose the downstage center point, click once, move down to the origin, and then click again. Now, I could use it as well. Here I can move, tab, 9 feet, enter, and then enter again as long as I'm still snapping to my vertical. The other option is, as it's down here, I can just Control M. I don't want to move in my X coordinate, but my Y coordinate, I want to move 9 feet. And that's the probably cleanest, simplest way that I do it. And now you can see these stairs are relatively close. They're about as far downstage as anyone's going to want them. And the actual position of our set is now correct, because for our section, we're going to be drawing a bunch of lines that represent where all these bits are, and it's really important that we do them with this in place. The last thing I'm going to do before we move over to section is I'm going to save our view, and I'm going to Fit to Objects. I'm going to make sure I'm in Top Plan. I'm going to set my layers so that the visibility is correct. I'm going to set my classes so the visibility is correct. And once I have everything I want showing for the plan, I'm going to come up here. If it's not shown, just check on Saved Views over in this menu right there. But right next to Scale here, we have Saved Views. If we click Save View, you'll see we want to call it a plan, and you can save just a few pieces of information, or you can actually save everything. So everything about the view orientation, our position on screen, our layer visibility, class visibility, all of it is recorded. If we hit OK, this means we can zoom out. Maybe we get a little lost. maybe we're in a 3D view, maybe we don't know where we are, perhaps the venue is turned off, some of our classes. All we have to do is go back to plan, and now we reorient to this sort of home base position, right? Like all the work we've done is saved, and now we can reorient ourselves quickly. This will become very handy as we set up the section. We'll want to do the same thing for the section so that we can quickly and easily move between plan and section. And you'll see why in a second, because the section will be sideways and we want to rotate our view.